Hi everybody. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you a taste of what it's like on the first day of school in my class. What I do is I try and get to know as many of the students' names as I possibly can on the first day of school, and let's face it, I'm terrible at names, and I have an awful time of remembering everybody, especially like the first day of school, freshmen coming in, I don't know who you are. And so we sing this song. First of all, I'm going to give you an example of what the song sounds like, and then I'm going to give you a step-by-step way that you can use this in your German classes if you so feel. So, the tune is Bingo, as in like, and Bingo was his name, oh, but instead we're doing this with students. So, without further ado, here's the example. Ich bin der Lehrer und hab Schüler, dieser ist der Dieter, er ist der Dieter, er ist der Dieter, er ist der Dieter und Dieter ist sein Name. Er ist der Lehrer und hat Schüler, dieser ist der Dieter. Ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Er ist der Schüler von Herrn Antrim, dieser ist der Dieter. Ich bin die Sophie, ich bin die Sophie, ich bin die Sophie und ich bin seine Schülerin. Sie ist Herr Antrims Schülerin, diese ist die Sophie. Ich bin der Fredo, ich bin der Fredo, ich bin der Fredo und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Er ist der Schüler von Herrn Antrim, dieser ist der Fredo. Ich bin Andrea, ich bin Andrea, ich bin Andrea und ich bin seine Schülerin. Sie ist Herr Antrims Schülerin, diese ist Andrea. Ich bin der Christian, ich bin der Christian, ich bin der Christian und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Dieser Herr ist Herr Antrim und wir sind seine Schüler. Ich bin der Dieter, ich bin die Sophie, ich bin der Fredo, ich bin Andrea, ich bin der Christian und wir sind seine Schüler. Okay, that's not going to make a whole lot of sense if you don't understand the format, because you need to know which student is saying what and when they're saying and why they're saying and how all of that works together. So we're going to go over the grammar and the basis of each one of these and how to format it for different types of students and whether or not their name is long enough or short enough for the different things that we need to do in this. So let's get into the instructions. And you can download these instructions down in the video description down below. There's a link down there to a Google Drive where you can go ahead and click that and download these instructions, but I'm going to go ahead and go through them. So the first verse is Ich bin der Lehrer und hab Schüler. That's the first line of it, and that's because I'm singing the first line, and so I'm singing I am the teacher and I have students. And the second line is either diese or dieser, ist, and then either der or die. And this has to do with whether or not it's a male or a female student. So if it's a male student, we say dieser, so this one. And then if it's masculine, obviously we're still going to use der in front of the name. If it's a female student, we're going to use die, as in diese, and then also die for whenever we get in front of their name. Now that only works if the student's name has two syllables. So der Dieter. Dieter has two syllables, and so we say der Dieter. Now if it's more than two syllables, like three syllables, we would just take out the D. So it just says Andrea is the example that I gave before. So ich bin Andrea instead of die Andre. So too many syllables, it doesn't fit with the song. So we do that. If it's short, like it's only one syllable, so we got Fred is the example I gave before, we add an O to the end of it like you would in bingo. So you say Fredo. So dieser ist der Fredo. That fixes the syllable problem that we have there. Now in the third line of that same verse, we're going to have ist der Dieter, for he is the Dieter, or sie ist die, and then the female name, so Petra or whatever. And you say that one three times because that's the way the song goes. Sie ist die Petra, sie ist die Petra, sie ist die Petra. And there on that last one we have und, insert name here with the two syllables or three syllables, however many you need there. And then ist for is, sein if it's a masculine person for his, or ihr if it's a female person, and so we would have her and then Name for name. So that's the first verse there. And again, the instructions are in the description down below. So if you get a little confused, I know it's complicated the first time you try it out. So it's going to take some getting used to. Now in the second verse, we have the first student. So the first verse was sung by me, and I'm directing it towards whoever the first person in the room is. And the second verse is sung by that student that I directed the first time. So you gotta find that student in the room who's not shy. Find somebody who's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll volunteer, and pick that person first, because the first person is probably not gonna get it right. Anyway, so that first student in the group is then gonna sing the second verse. And in the first line there, it just says, ist der Lehrer und hat Schüler. This is referring back to me. So they point to me when they say this. They would say, ist der Lehrer und hat Schüler. And then, referring to students, we would have dieser if it's feminine, dieser if it's a masculine one, and again der if it's masculine, or die if it's a feminine student. So we say, dieser ist der Dieter for the example we had before. And then we fill in the blank there with the name of the student that is saying this. So the first student says their own name. It's kind of weird, but it fits. So we would say this one, pointing to themselves, dieser ist der Dieter, so pointing to themselves. And then ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter, und ich bin auch sein Schüler. And so then they say their name 3 times in that same repetitive verse there, or the repetitive line. And then they say, und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Now, if it's a female student, this line has to change a little bit because sein and seine for the feminine and the masculine, and also Schüler and Schülerin for the different male and female students. So we have to change this up a little bit for each one. Now for the masculine one, the line is, und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Now for the female version of it, it's, und ich bin seine Schülerin. So we have extra syllables there for the female ones, so we have to cut out auch and kind of speed things up for the Schülerin. But anyway, it fits. Now the third verse is sung by the second student, so whoever it is that Dita is talking to in the previous one, that's who's in the next one. And so in the first line it says, ist der Schüler von Herrn Antrim. Now this only works if it's a previous person was a masculine student. If it's a female student, again, it's sie ist Herr Antrim Schülerin. So we have 2 different versions, one for a male, one for a female on the first line. And the same thing again for the second and third lines. So the second line here is this one, so referring to whoever it is that's next in line. Dieser ist der Dieter. And then you go, ich bin die Petra, ich bin die Petra, ich bin die Petra und ich bin seine Schülerin. And again, going back to the female version and pointing to themselves when they say ich bin. Anytime that it says diese, with the exception of the first one, they should be referring to the next person in line. Anytime they say ich bin, they should be pointing to themselves. Basically, you would take that entire verse and repeat that over and over and over again until you got all of your students done. So every student has sung at least one verse throughout this class period, and everybody has said somebody else's name during their song. So all of that has happened. I know it's going to take a long time, especially if you have like 30-some students in a classroom or whatever, but it's fun and it gets the students to sing in German on the first day of school. The last verse is everyone's name. So the example that I gave before, we only had like 7 or 8 names, and that made it so that it was a little easier to sing through. But what happens here is we go from student to student for the line that says ich bin. So we say, dieser Herr ist Herr Antrim, pointing to me again, so this Mr. is Mr. Antrim, or this man is Mr. Antrim. And then they would say, und wir sind seine Schüler. So we are his students, so wir sind seine Schüler. And then each student in line says, ich bin der Dieter. The next person would then say, ich bin die Petra, and the name that was assigned to them before, if they added an extra syllable, or if it's der or die in front of it, whatever their name is in that, that's what they're going to say here, and they point to themselves when they do it. And we just go down the line. And the last line in the entire thing, once we get to the last student in the group, we say, und wir sind seine Schüler, and we are his students. So that's the overarching idea here. Now, I tried this out last year, it worked beautifully, and the students loved it because they had the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better. They got a chance to actually speak some German on the first day of school, And it's a great way to just kind of break the ice and have some fun on the first day of school because everybody knows it's boring and it's syllabus day and no one really pays that much attention to it. And so I like to just go out there and try something fun. And besides that, you get names like Granto, which always strikes a nice tone for everybody. So anyway, we're going to try this example song again just to kind of give you a feel for it, and that's how I'm going to leave this video. I'm just going to sing it through one more time just for you guys. Ich bin der Lehrer und hab Schüler, dieser ist der Dieter. Er ist der Dieter, er ist der Dieter, er ist der Dieter und Dieter ist sein Name. Er ist der Lehrer und hat Schüler, dieser ist der Dieter. Ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter, ich bin der Dieter und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Er ist der Schüler von Herrn Antrim, dieser ist der Dieter. Ich bin die Sophie, ich bin die Sophie, ich bin die Sophie und ich bin seine Schülerin. Sie ist Herr Antrims Schülerin, diese ist die Sophie. Ich bin der Fredo, ich bin der Fredo, ich bin der Fredo und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Er ist der Schüler von Herrn Antrim, dieser ist der Fredo. Ich bin Andrea, ich bin Andrea, ich bin Andrea und ich bin seine Schülerin. Sie ist Herr Antrims Schülerin, dieser ist Andrea. Ich bin der Christian, ich bin der Christian, ich bin der Christian und ich bin auch sein Schüler. Dieser Herr ist Herr Antrim und wir sind seine Schüler. Ich bin der Dieter, ich bin die Sophie, ich bin der Fredo, ich bin Andrea, ich bin der Christian und wir sind seine Schüler. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, bye.